Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Pearl and the Echo podcast. My name is Dori Sim, and with me I have Jim Rajan, my lovely co-host. And as we do every time at the Pearl and the Echo podcast, we will start with 3 deep breaths. So breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth if you like. Big sigh. In through the nose, just like that. You can close your eyes if you like. And out through the mouth, let it all go. And one last time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. All right. Hopefully that helped you arrive here today. Jim, tell us what we are going to be discussing today.
Yes, so this is a quote. The first time I saw it was in a Frida Kahlo exhibition in Porto in Portugal, and it really took me by surprise. I've always really enjoyed the work of Frida Kahlo, mainly because of her life and the story of her life. She had a very hard life when she was a child and was run over by a tram and had such terrible injuries that she had to have like 20 or 30 operations on her body when she was young. I'm not quite sure. I think maybe she was in her teens or early teens. And her art is really distinctive and specific, and you know Frida Kahlo's work as soon as you see it, and she's in a lot of her art as well. And the quote is this: feet, what do I need them for if I have wings? You know, someone whose body, she was stuck in a type of hospital bed because I think she broke her back, where she was literally fixed, lying in a bed, and they had to turn her over. So sometimes she was on her back and sometimes she was on her front. And when she was on her front, she could paint. And so that's where kind of painting came in. But feet, like everyone else, everyone's got their body and it's normal, and we all can walk and run and play tennis and do all the things that we do with our body. But she couldn't do that. And because she couldn't do that, she had to express herself in life in a different way. And so the idea is through having wings so that one can fly and explore and imagine and create our own worlds. And I really like that. And that's what I do in my work, is creating worlds. And I love that, and I enjoy that. You know, if you see her paintings, they are stories, they are worlds that she's created for the viewer to jump into. And she's very famous for knowing lots of kind of well-known artists and being in all sorts of very interesting art scenes, and was led quite a kind of dangerous life in a way, a very kind of risky existence, and lived life to the full, even though she'd had all these problems with her body. In fact, she had all kinds of problems with her body throughout her life. And I really like so my body doesn't work. Well, I'll do something else. I don't care. All right, hit me with this and I'll just do something else. Forget you. You know, it's like, all right, cool. I'm here for the living experience. If I can't have this thing, well, I'll make my own thing. And I super, super value that, because we look at someone who's blind or has one leg or has some kind of chronic illness. We look at those people and we don't mean to be condescending, but we are. And we're like, well, I've got 2 legs and I can do all these things. And that's what humans are like. We kind of pity. We're like, well, that's a shame. And you know, and we're nice about it, but at the same time, we've all got all kinds of limits ourselves, and we limit ourselves, and our mind limits us. And she's just like, yeah, I've got all these problems, and you know what? I'm just going to fly, and let's see where life wants to take me, or let's see where we can take this. And if you know more about her and her story, she was a potent woman. You know, in all kinds of ways, in her sexuality, in the way she lived, in her relationships, and in all kinds of ways. And we need more of that. Everything naturally becomes more and more mediocre, I find, in society or in life, in all sorts of ways. And then we need someone to come along and just slap us out of that and go, no, you've got wings, use those. So yes, feet, what do I need them for? I have wings, Dori.
I love it. It really speaks to her unshakable spirit, just being unapologetically herself, transcending this circumstance, right? This limitation of the body and the pain that she was in. and just saying, well, here I am, and I'm going to go beyond, really kind of sitting with it, sitting with the circumstance, sitting with the pain, sitting with all of it, and allowing it to just be, so that she can go beyond. And I really admire her for that, and for all of her incredible work. I agree with you. It's the resiliency and this just boundless creativity that came from her, really really taking everything she experienced and alchemizing it in all of these ways, so that we get to experience it, we get to see into her world, and we get to um, get a glimpse of what it's like. So yeah, it's a really powerful message. I think it's reminding us that we are limitless. I think we put a lot of constrictions on ourselves. Society puts a lot of just these barriers and limitations, and we feed into that, we play into that, and we say, oh no, I can't, I can't do it this way, or that's not the responsible thing for me to do. People will think I'm mad if I go and do this thing. But yeah, life's kind of boring if you just stay in that space. There's probably people in your life that are just waiting for you to do those things so that they can be inspired by you. So yeah, I feel like in a way, she's asking us to take flight, to get after it in this way that's probably calling to us. That inner voice is saying, hey, what about this thing over here? Like you're forgetting, reminder. And sometimes that voice is really, really quiet, but sometimes it's just deafening.
Yeah, yeah, and art is story in so many ways, especially art in the modern world, and story is symbolism. And she picked the symbolism of wings. It's like the opening, it's openness, it's freedom, it's the exhilaration, it's the feeling of being able to fly. So she felt that she was able to fly in life. She felt that even though she had these things that were really difficult and challenging, she was still free and able to experience that freedom. And I see that, and that really inspires me.
Definitely. I wonder how we can grasp that. How do we make that feeling tangible in our lives? Where do we seek it out? Where do we find it? I know you talk about creating worlds, being a builder of worlds, and I've experienced that in some of the work that we do together, in terms of going on journeying, and like hearing a drum, meditating on the tempura. Your mind can really go to a lot of different places, and sites that are truly healing. I feel there's this rich kind of inner landscape that we all have. And if we're lucky, we find a way to tap into that. We find teachers and guides that can introduce us to that, and learn how to go there ourselves, and to really explore that realm. What are some entry points for you into that space?
Yeah, that's interesting, because it's a bit like society, the limits that she's talking about with her body. Society imposes all sorts of limits on us as well, and social structures and politics, and there's all these kind of, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And for me, yeah, a lot of it is to do with actually transcending the body, because you can feel inside of your body, but you can also feel outside of your body, and you can train yourself to do that. You can train yourself to have awareness of further than just the human form, and it's not a particularly difficult thing. And then, well, that's kind of endless. We like the idea of the body having skin, because then that's I know where it finishes. But you can take it so much further than that. It's not just that. In the Upanishads, it talks about how the body is the first layer. The body is the first layer of multitudes of layers that are the human being, and we think that everything is inside the body, like, where's your soul, and we'll all kind of say sort of here. And where's your imagination? Well, it's got to be up here, and mind is up here. But maybe they're not. Maybe they're outside. Maybe that's an external thing that is being channeled through the body. So just the word to transcend, to go beyond. That's what she's saying. She went beyond the limitations of her body, and yeah, maybe that was in her imagination. But but the way she wrote and the way she kind of talked, and even in the photographs she took, there's always this element of the danger of going further, of taking things past the limit. And we're all kind of normal human beings and we get a bit scared about the idea of taking things past the limit. But just feeling that there's a really nice piece of work where you sit quietly and close your eyes and breathe into your wings as if you have some, and you don't even have to imagine it. It's not even a mental thing. You can allow yourself to breathe into, as if attached to collarbones are these two huge wings, and they're not heavy and they're not kind of unbalanced or overpowering you, because if you've got wings, your body is shaped in the right way to have them. And if you allow yourself to breathe into that and notice what your breathing is doing, it's so much longer. Your breathing elongates further than it normally would. And it's just simple things like that that show you, the limit is just something that you placed there, isn't it?
I really love that image of breathing into your wings. I can't wait to try that out. it- it's so kind of magical and yet so human and tangible in terms of accessing that state of mind. So I really appreciate you sharing that. I feel like there's a tendency for us to kind of get stuck either in our bodies or in our minds. And so using ways to kind of imagine beyond is so important for me. I think I've mentioned before, I was in a car accident about a year ago, and so I've got like a bad shoulder. I've got some chronic pain that I've been working through on one side, and it's incredible how much you can fixate on that when it's or you're having a bad pain day. It can be all consuming because your brain is saying something is wrong, something, and it's fighting. You're fighting this experience. I've started doing hot yoga and things like that and lots of stretching, and that's what's really helped, and really allowing the pain, like, okay, yeah, it's here. It's here today. It's a little bit harder than it was yesterday, but befriending the pain is a lot more manageable than fighting it, struggling against it. I feel like you can just you double down on the pain when you're just so aggressively fighting with it, as opposed to just allowing it to wash over you and allowing it to be. As soon as I started to shift my mindset a little bit like that, I'm finding the pain is going away,
Yeah, yeah.
right? It's lessening. I had like 2 weeks where I was fine. Like I was good. And in the last few days it's returned, but it's a little bit different now. It's like the intensity is not there now. It's just like, okay, there's a bit of stiffness, there's a bit of, uncomfortableness, but it's like, okay, you're back. Let's work with it. Like, let's work with this version of the pain and really befriending it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. There's something the Buddha talked about suffering and the suffering of the suffering. You have the pain, which causes suffering, but then the fact that you are suffering causes you suffering. And the pain magnifies and it becomes more and more and more. And then, the pain of the pain, it can be worse than the actual original pain. And as human beings, we all want a quick fix of, right, oh, okay, well, I'll do this thing. Jim said, breathe into your wings on this podcast. Well, I'll do that. But you doing it once is not enough. You've got to do hot yoga every week. I remember I used to do it for a while. Nearly every day, and it was amazing. Loved it. So breathe into your wings every day. Do those things every single day. And then, yeah, like you say, Dori, your relationship to the pain changes.
All right. Give it to us one more time, Jim.
So Frida Kahlo, feet, what do I need them for if I have wings? I really hope that you've enjoyed that. Please feel free to subscribe or comment wherever you're listening to or seeing this. And yeah, thank you for supporting the Pearl and the Echo podcast. We really really, really appreciate it. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Amazing. Yes. And share it with someone.
Mm,
Help someone take flight.
exactly. Help someone find their wings today. That would be an amazing thing to do, wouldn't it? All right.
Love it.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Pearl and the Echo podcast with me, Dori Sim, and my co-host, Jim Rajan. Thank you to Rebel Mixtape Productions for editing this episode. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, and share with those in your life that matter most.